Okay, we're here for worksheet 7E in the Math 4 course, and we're talking about bias that can occur in a survey or a study. And I have to apologize up front. I did not realize that the first 7 questions were exactly what we did on the notes. So I apologize for that. I did not mean for that to happen, but sometimes when you plan things in a hurry, stuff like that happens. So we're going to pick up at number 8. Because you've already seen the first 7 in the notes. All right, we're trying to figure out whether this is biased or not and rewrite it if it is. Don't you agree that the school needs a new baseball field more than a new science lab? Just when you see the phrase, don't you agree, that right there is telling you that you're dumb if you don't agree. So we're going to scratch that out. And we could say, does the school need a new baseball field more than a new science lab? I think that's fair enough. That's not really, you're ultimately asking the question, which one do you need more? And, it's almost a presumption. If it's a school, then the science ought to come first and the extracurriculars come second as far as spending money. So, you're kind of raising the question that goes almost against that. Is it possible that we need a new baseball field more than we need a new science lab? I'm okay with this. The bias came with question wording. And we move on to number 9. That one we've done before. Number 10. Budget of Wake County Schools is short on funds. Should taxes be raised in order for this district to fund extracurricular sports programs? Now, in a sense, I guess they're explaining why they would look at raising taxes. I'm not sure that I see any bias in this. They're explaining why, because nobody wants to raise taxes, but if it's for a good reason, if the county is short on funds and we want to fund extracurricular sports. I don't really see any bias in this. Number 11, due to diminishing resources, should a law be made to require people to recycle? I'm sort of like the last one here, that if you just say, should a law be made to require people to recycle, you're going to have people that say, I don't care and I don't feel like doing it. But when you throw in the issue of diminishing resources, the fact that it affects us all, to me, that changes the flavor of it. Now, is this biased by wording? Maybe. And there would be some people who would be against recycling because, they don't want to go to the time or the expense of recycling. And they're going to say, well, you're wording it so that people have to agree. And, in that sense, maybe there is question wording going on here. You are making it seem like you're a putz if you don't agree. So anyway, I think there is enough question there to make this comment. And if you decide that this is bias by question wording, then you just leave that phrase off and you just say, should a law be made to require people to recycle? All right. You want to determine whether to serve hamburgers or pizza at the soccer team party. You write a survey question that would likely, or they want you to write a survey question that would likely produce biased results. And so what would that look like? You know, hamburgers, I'm going to do HB for hamburgers, or fresh hot pizza. All right. Now, you know, you're throwing that in there, the fresh and the hot, so the people think of the hamburger, that probably has been sitting there for an hour, and I think I'll go with the pizza. You know, you're going to produce biased results by using that kind of language. Write a survey question that would likely produce unbiased results. Would you prefer hamburger or pizza at the party? Straightforward. No special curves to this one. Okay, you want to find students' opinions on the current attendance policy. Give 2 ways that your sample for the survey might be selected. Presumably we're talking about NLO students. First must be an example of a biased sample, and the second must be an example of an unbiased. Thoroughly explain your answers. All right, so if you want to find students' opinions on the current attendance policy, you know, one way would be to grab a sample that is obviously going to lean one way or the other. I don't know, you know, just to borrow a stereotype here, go to the library. That's where all the nerds are, right? You know, they're all the ones that are doing the work that they're supposed to be doing, rather than skipping class and you know, being late and skipping school and that sort of thing. Now, if you want to go bias the other way, go to ISS, the in-school suspension room, and you know, all the people who have been penalized for being late or other things, they probably have a very vivid opinion of the current attendance policy. So you could, one is sample, sample in library, or ISS room. If you wanted an even sample that is representative, then you would go to some place that is less likely to have bias. You know, say the lunchroom. You could sample in the cafeteria, because you are likely to have a mixture of responses there. Or you could just, well, standing at the front door of the school as kids are coming in, you know, if you're, unless you intend to stand there the whole time from 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock, you know, if you stand there for the whole hour and survey everybody that comes by, you're going to get the ones that are early, the ones that are on time, and the ones that are late. And so that would be a good representative sample. But again, you would have to make sure that you stayed there after 7:30 and make sure that you surveyed people that were late and get their opinion on the current attendance policy. So, all right. And I believe number last, 2 toothpaste manufacturers each claim that 4 out of 5 dentists use their brand exclusively. Both manufacturers can support their claims with survey results. Explain how this can happen. Well, quite simply, they take a completely different sample. Each manufacturer gets completely different sample. That is my cat hollering in the background. I don't know if you hear it. He is quite bored and is trying to find something to chase in 600 square feet. All right, gets completely different sample. All right, that's how that's possible. Is that the first manufacturer grabbed 100 dentists over here, and the second manufacturer grabbed 100 dentists over there, and there was no overlap. And so, yeah, 4 out of 5 could favor a different brand. So anyway, all right, that should wrap it up, and that is the 7E worksheet. Again, I apologize that so many of the questions were duplicates. I will have to fix that for next year.